بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Chapter number 15, the abridged version of Riyadh Salihin says here, باب المحافظة على الأعمال, taking care of your deeds and preserving them, looking after them, keeping a close eye and close watch on one's actions. So the previous chapter we spoke on balance and lack of extremism, not going overboard. Babu al-iqtisad fi ta'a. And before that he mentioned Babu bayan kathrati turuq al-khair, the abundant ways of doing good. And before that he mentioned Babu al-hatha ala al-izdiyadi min al-khayri fi awakhir al-umr, doing as much good as you possibly can towards the end of your life. And before that was Babu al-mujahada, the chapter of fighting yourself. And then chapter 10 was Babu al-mubadara ila al-khayrat, was to encourage the people to do good deeds. نعم. وحثي من توجه لخير على الإقبال عليه بالجد من غير تردد. And those who are inspired to do good, to do it without any hesitation. So you see how he cohesively put the book together. One chapter follows another, one chapter precedes another, and it all blends so perfectly. Encouraging you to do good deeds in general, then specifically, then a specific time in your life, but don't go extreme, don't kill yourself, don't neglect other things which are more important, which are more obligatory. And then last but not least, it says to keep those deeds, to keep them. You start something to keep it. As we mentioned in the previous narration about being consistent, even if it's something that's small or minute, quote unquote, because there's nothing that's small and minute of good to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah tells us in the Quran al-Kareem and several ayat, that what you do, the weight of an atom or mustard grain, a seed, yarahu. Man ya'mal mithqala dharratin khayran yarahu. Allah says the mithqal of a dharra, you'll see it. وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُمْ. Allah says whatever you put forth for yourself. So there's nothing that's small and minute to Allah. And we all know that a woman was punished with the hellfire because she starved the cat to death. And we all know that a woman who was a prostitute was forgiven because she gave a dog a drink of water in her boot. So there's nothing that's small to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just as there's no sin that's small to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's all great and big to Allah with regards to what He deserves. Everybody understand this? However, relatively, if you remain consistent upon something, even if it's small, in our eyes, in our standards, even if it's a little bit, but consistency is important. And the same applies to one's studies as well. If not, a person will definitely lose their edge. Wallahu musta'an. So chapter 15 from the summarized version, it says, Babul muhafazati ala al-a'mal, is to strictly guard one's good deeds and not to lose them. You start something, keep it up. You start something good, stay consistent. قال الله تعالى ألم يأن للذين آمنوا أن تخشع قلوبهم لذكر الله وما نزل من الحق ولا يكونوا كالذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبل فطال عليهم الأمد فقست قلوبهم. Allah Azza wa Jalla says in Surah Al-Hadid, chapter 16, or verse 16 from Surah Al-Hadid, He says, ألم يأن للذين آمنوا. He says, those who believe, certainly has the time not come for their hearts to feel submissive and fearful because of the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Has the time not come? In other words, it's overdue. For those who believe, not the munafiqeen, not the kafirin, but those who believe, He says that it's overdue for their hearts to tremble from Allah Azza wa Jalla's dhikr. And also the truth that Allah has sent down. And not for them to be like the Jews and the Christians before them, those whose hearts became hard because of a long, lengthy period of heedlessness and disobedience. A long, lengthy period of heedlessness and disobedience, and their hearts became hard and solid. So the ayah tells us, and it encourages us for our hearts to become submissive and fearful and not allow a long period of time to go by of waste. فَطَالَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَمَدِ. A long period of time went by in which they didn't preserve their deeds. They had guidance, they had knowledge. Allah sent them prophets and messengers, but one reason or another, they allowed the time to go by, and it didn't remain consistent, and then they went astray. And the Jews earned Allah's anger, and the Christians became astray. Even both of them are the same. The Jews are al-maghdub alayhim and the dalun as well. And the Christians are maghdub alayhim and the dalun as well. However, one specialized in a thing more than the other. But at the end of the day, they're both the same. The Jews, Allah angry with them, and they're also astray. And the Christians, not only are they astray, but Allah is also angry with them as well. However, Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentioned akhas sifatihim, the most distinct of their characteristics. Everybody understand the fa'idah from the Quran? The most distinct of their characteristics is mentioned. But at the end of the day, they're what? Both what? Both the same. But the Jews, the ghadab was more specific to them, the anger. And the Christians, the ignorance, innovation, dancing, singing, making things up was more prevalent than it was in the time of the what? Of the Jews. And if that's not the case, then the Jews, they made bid'ah as well. They made up things as well. They went against the message of Musa alayhi salam and made their own messages and own books as well. So this is the highlighting point from the ayah. He then says, وعن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من نام عن حزبه من الليل أو عن شيء منه فقرأه ما بين صلاة الفجر وصلاة الظهر كتب له كأنما قرأه من الليل. رواه Muslim. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu narrates, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man nama an hizbihi min al-layl." With regards to reciting the Quran and practicing the Quran, if a person sleeps at nighttime, he doesn't get it done. Or "O shay'in minhu," he says, or anything like this with regards to prayer at night, or with regards to reading the Quran at night. فَقَرْعُهُ مَا بَيْنَ صَلَاةِ الْفَجْرِ وَصَلَاةِ الظُّهُرِ, and he then recites it between Fajr and Dhuhr prayer, كُتِبَ لَهُ كَأَنَّمَا قَرَأَهُ مِنَ اللَّيْلِ, it will be recorded for him as if he did it at night. As if he did it at night. In other words, to struggle, to strive, and to make a sacrifice during the daytime, even though you missed the proper time, but make sure that you remain consistent. It's like you miss a day working out. So now I want to make it up. I want to do double now. I'm going to make it up during the time that I normally don't do it, but I can't miss a what? Can't miss a day. Because once I miss a day, then I miss the second day, then I'm sick, then I'm busy, then I'm tired, and this and that. And next thing you know, you miss the whole entire what? Whole week. And then a month goes by, and then you're in a rut. And your consistency is totally broken. So the point is to struggle and to sacrifice to keep the consistency upon your good deeds. No matter how simple they may seem, no matter how short and concise it may be, but to remain what? Consistency. And that's the key. The special moves, the special flair, is good, but the consistency of the fundamentals is the thing that initially gets you started. With regards to ibadah, and also with regards to talab al-ilm. And that's why some of the people of knowledge mention that when you want to set a goal with regards to studying, then it should be a small goal. A goal that you can remain consistent and persistent upon for the purpose of building momentum and for the purpose of building confidence. But oftentimes you make goals that are too big, that are too bold, which you may be able to do for a week. But then you stop because it's too much or it's too time consuming. And then when you stop, you lose your consistency. And when you lose your consistency, the shaitan, he comes to you and he whispers to you and he prevents you from making further goals and executing them. So it's very important to make small accomplishments and to preserve them. Once you do that for some time and you lock it down and you master it, then you move on to a what? A bigger goal, a bigger size of memorization or wherever the case may be. So that's the end of that chapter. With regards to al-muhafadha, sticking to one's deeds, it's a very important topic. And it can be addressed from so many different aspects. From, as we said, worship, ibadah, talab al-ilm, working out, taking care of yourself, anything that you do in which you make it into a routine. And then that ta'ala becomes second nature, and then you graduate. And you move to more raka'at, or more Quran, or whatever the case may be. Al-muhafadha al-amal is sticking to one's deeds. Allah Azza wa Jal truly knows best. Jazakumullah khairan. Sallallahu sallam wa barak ala abdihi wa rasulihi nabiyina Muhammad. Wallahu alam.